Welcome back, everyone. We're reviewing another movie for spooky season today, and this one is not your typical horror movie. This one is terrifying. We got Terrifier. Now, I know it's just the DVD, but here's the thing about this movie. I It's hard to describe, guys. I mean, the way it's filmed, it almost looks better on DVD just because it has that sort of classic grainy visual aesthetic to it, and so I think it really works for DVD, and it sort of, I think, makes it feel more nostalgic to how older horror movies used to look, or at least, especially people that may have had VHS for the classic horror movies. This one is not for the squeamish. This is not the first horror movie I recommend to people who are just starting to dip their toe into the genre. This is definitely not for the faint of heart, and this one is pretty messed up. But if you enjoy movies where killing people absolutely brutally is something you need in your horror movie, then this is it, and more. This movie gives it all, and it really pushes the boundaries of what should be allowed in a horror movie. And so the thing with this is we have your main clown here, and it says here on the box, it makes Pennywise look like Krusty. Well, it's not too far off, guys. I mean, this is a generic story for just terrorizing people. There's 3 people generally he's terrorizing, and the movie's an hour and 24 minutes. So it's not very long at all. And when you take into account opening credits and closing credits, really it's not that long of a watch. I mean, this is easy to squeeze into, whatever time off you have during the day. I mean, this movie's not long at all, but you really need to dedicate yourself to preparing yourself for this movie. I mean, the kills are absolutely insane, but let's sort of start with, I think, the positives. So this movie doesn't rely, even though it has plenty of gore and action, this feels similar to Halloween, but in a different personality for the killer. So like Halloween, you don't have Michael Myers doing these explosions and dramatic kills, even though there are dramatic kills here. But what I'm getting at is Michael Myers was creepy on his own, just his persona, just his visual presence. That's what made him scary. And I think that's how it works with Terrifier, is Art the Clown is creepy just by him being him. And sure, he kills, but this isn't some dramatically high kill count movie. This one has 5 kills, I think, maybe less. It's not a very high kill count for I guess, slasher, but it very much relies on the acting from the guy that plays Art the Clown. It relies on mannerisms and body language, especially body language, with how he's interpreting what's going on around him. And so it's just the way he's terrorizing these people is he sort of seems like this goofy, sort of awkward guy, but then he ends up killing them. And so outside from this restaurant that takes place sort of in part of its opening, or part of the second half of its first part. What I'm getting at, guys, is there's only a couple locations here. They get to this giant sort of abandoned thing, this warehouse thing, whatever you want to call it. There's maintenance being done on it, and that's where he prays at night, where he's going after his victims. And we have these 2 main girls who are sort of lured into this place, and this sort of goes against expectations, because the main girl in this movie, it makes you think that she's going to be the one that survives in the end. I mean, she has the makings of that survivalist type of character, but it just doesn't go that way. Art the Clown actually kills her in the movie, and so her sister that she's come from out of town, when she arrives, I would say in the last third of the movie, she becomes the main one being terrorized by Art the Clown. And it's just the brutality of what they do in this movie he doesn't just kill absolutely everyone. Some people he did rather leave off them being disfigured or better off dead. The last girl in this movie, she's completely disfigured, and this then ties into the opening of the movie, seeing this girl in this interview, this survivor of this attack. And so we now know who that is, and we don't know a lot of what's going on. And so this movie sort of introduces us into who Art the Clown really is, what kind of, villain he's going to be, how brutal this film can be, and it just really goes all out with the gore, the violence, and everything that it puts in there. But now, after watching the second one, I see there's setup from this one. There's bits and pieces from the first that just make sense in the second. And so when I saw the movie, I was sort of confused why they made another. I mean, from a horror franchise point of view, it made sense to do another Terrifier, but I was wondering where the story was going, and it feels so connected. After seeing both, I can't wait to see the third, to see how it connects to that one as well, especially when I review the second. It's sort of filling in more of the gaps, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what this franchise brings. As I said, this is definitely one of the more brutal movies I've seen in a while, and it's not for everyone. I mean, it's gory, but it's almost gory enough to the point where it's disgusting. Even more so in the second one than this, and that's the whole thing. As a director, when he got around to making the second movie, he wanted to outdo what he did in the first one, and well, he succeeded, and now I'm hearing that's the same thing with the third. The third is supposed to outdo what he did in the second, and I don't know how that's possible. I'm hearing that the third pushes whatever boundaries are left, it crosses whatever lines are left. I don't know what that looks like, guys, and honestly, I don't know if I'm prepared for it. I'm excited to see the movie, but overall, I think there's a reason why Art the Clown has become such a sort of modern icon the past few years, why everyone's looking forward to what this franchise has to bring to the genre, because it's so out there and it's so different. It's hard to compare him to another character or other horror movies, but visually it has a nostalgic vibes. It has sort of that gory, grainy intensity to it. So in my opinion, everything that general horror fans will say they like in their favorite movies, Terrifier has a little bit of each of that. And so I look forward to hearing people's reactions. I want to see where this franchise goes. It had a nice start with this one. Can't wait to review the next one. And we'll see what happens with Art the Clown in its franchise. Will he make his mark on the horror genre, or will the third and maybe fourth movie fall flat? We'll see, guys. Thanks for sticking with me for this one, and I'll see you all next time.